Beethoven was born in 1770, a child prodigy. However, his father, to speed up the process, would beat him in a drunken rage. He would also force him to play for his friends. By the early 1800s, Beethoven was an accomplished composer and it was somewhat of a celebrity. People were asking him to write pieces all the time, so he was more busy. The periods between 1801 and 1803, Beethoven became more innovative. He did things that were unheard of in classical music, challenged the idea of what a sonata or symphony was. He organized his movement in a different way that made later composers do the same. Moonlight Sonata is an example of this, as a sonata was first made in the 16th century, and comes from the Italian word to sound. By that time, famous composers like Beethoven and Mozart had 4-movement sonatas. The first movement was an allegro movement. The allegro movement was performed at a brisk pace and was moderately fast. The second movement of a sonata was slow. The third movement was a dance piece. Usually it was a minuet and trio in a major scale. The final movement was usually fast-paced and more than 100 BPM. Beethoven decided to skip the first movement and go directly into the second movement, the slow movement. Beethoven dedicated his piece to a 17-year-old student that he has been teaching, named Countess Galetta. In 1801, the family of Galetta sent her to get piano lessons from Beethoven. Beethoven soon fell in love with her and wanted to marry her. However, Galetta was from the House of Brunswick. She was of minor nobility and her parents were the rank of counts. Her parents disapproved of the marriage because Beethoven was a commoner. Beethoven was of a low rank compared to the Counts of Brunswick. Beethoven still deeply respected her and dedicated his Fantasy Sonata to her, and would later be known as Moonlight Sonata. Beethoven originally titled his sonata something that roughly translates to sonata, almost a fantasy, trying to exemplify the earlier fantasy sonatas. His sonata made a new style called Fantasy Sonata.